Hari Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good evening, one and all. I welcome you once again to this online live lecture series of Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad. So today we'll be discussing about some concepts of Drishti and Patala in Shalakya Tantra. Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So, in this shloka, we are knowing the importance of the word Timira. So, before we understand what is Timira, it is very important to know what is the definition of Drishti and Patala. So, in Shalakya Tantra, especially in Sushruta Samhita Uttarasthana, even in some parts of Sharirasthana, we are getting the references of the Netra Rachana Sharira. As we all know, that we are having Netra Vidya Dvayangula Bahulyam Swa Angushtoodara Samhitam. Sushrutacharya has mentioned number of references that some of the patalas are there, some the number of mandalas are there, and sandhis are there. So today we will be concentrating on Drishti Mandala and Patala. So we'll be discussing some important points. So what is the significance of Drishti Mandala? Okay, we see generally we come across some patients that when a patient enters or IOPD, patient tells that this Drishti we have to understand. Initially, let us discuss how a layman understands what the Drishti is, and later on we'll come to know what our acharyas have given the view, what they have explained what Drishti is. Okay, when a patient enters your IOPD, the patient may tell you that my Drishti is not proper, or the child's Drishti is not proper. So in his terms, what Drishti means, is it only a anatomical unit, or it is something the patient is speaking about the functional aspect of Drishti? When we come across our references, like we have Drishti Prasanna Sakalam Prasanna. Okay, that whenever our Drishti is Prasanna, everything is Prasanna. There is a close or intimate relation between Manas and Drishti. Okay, then see, when we go on analyzing what Drishti is, what our acharyas have explained, Drishti, we have to take it in anatomical aspects as well as its functional aspects. What Drishti is? Drishti, as our acharyas have explained, Netrayama, we know mandalas are there. One of the mandala it is. Okay, we are having 5 mandalas in our Netra Sharira. Netra, especially it contains of 5 mandalas, then 6 sandhis and 6 patalas. So today we are discussing about Drishti Mandala and Patala. So how many mandalas are there? 5 mandalas are there. Which are the mandalas? Mandalani cha sandhischa patalani cha lochane yatha kramam vijaniyat pancha shatcha shadevacha. Okay, 5 mandalas, then 6 patalas and 6 sandhis. Coming to the 5 mandalas, which are the 5 mandalas? Acharyas have explained. Pakshma, Vartma, Shveta, Krishna, Drishtinam mandalani tu anupurvam tu te paschat Madhyantara Yathottaram. Okay, so Pakshma initially is explaining these are nothing but mandalas, means they are concentric circles. Anupurvam tu te madhyas chatvaro antya yathottaram. These are the concentric circles which are situated one after another. They are arranged from center to periphery. Concentric circles which are situated in the Netra Bhaga from center to periphery. These are the circles. Initially he has explained Pakshma Mandala, Vartma Mandala, then Shukla or Shveta Mandala, then Krishna Mandala, then lastly he is explaining about Drishti Mandala. So what are these? Anatomically, if we go on speaking about all the mandalas, it takes time. So today we are here to discuss only about Drishti Mandala and Patala. So whether Drishti Mandala and Drishti are one and the same. Okay, how we have to understand? Number of quotations are there which make us understand what is the exact definition of Drishti and Drishti Mandala. Drishti is smaller than Drishti Mandala. Number of reference, I will be giving you some of the quotations. Okay, when there is even comparison is also being given with Krishna Mandala and Drishti Mandala, but Drishti is different than Drishti Mandala. नेत्रायाम त्रिभागंतु कृष्ण मंडल मुच्यते कृष्णात् सप्तमिच्छन्ति दृष्टिम दृष्टि विशारदः. What is the pramana of दृष्टि मंडल? नेत्रायाम त्रिभागंतु कृष्ण मंडल मुच्यते. Total of the netrayama, the tribhaga of this netrayama, that is 1/3 of this netrayama we are having Krishna mandala, and 1/7 Krishnat saptamichanti drishtim. 1/7 of that Krishna mandala we are having drishti mandala. This is one reference quoted by Sushruta. Okay, another reference is having, here he is telling 1/7, and in some context he is telling 1/9. Okay, total the pramana, the one what is taraka and Krishna mandala as have been explained same, like taraka is as well as Krishna mandala. Okay, 1/7 of Krishna mandala is total of 1/7 of total of netrayama is Krishna mandala, and 1/7 of Krishna mandala is Drishti mandala. 1/7 is explained here, and same Acharya he is giving some references as 1/9. Okay, total of the 1/3 of netra bhaga is Krishna mandala, and 1/9 of that or taraka mandala is Drishti mandala. So somewhere he is explaining 1/7, and some in other context he is explaining 1/9. So how to understand? So again Chakrapani in his Bhanumati Tika he is clarifying the things. He is telling us, in the view of surgery or those who are practicing Shalya Tantra, surgically speaking we should take it as 1/9, and in the view of Shalakina, that is Drishti Visharada Shalakina, in the view of Shalakya Tantra people we have to take it as 1/7. Like it depends, like anatomically we cannot classify that this is this, because Drishti is having wide meaning in Shalakya Tantra. Okay, so whenever you are concentrating on surgical view you want to take it as 1/9, and when you are concentrating in the view of Shalaki you should take it as 1/7. This is one of the reference of Drishti mandala. Okay, then coming to Drishti mandala, the aperture also he has explained. He is even giving you in Sharirasthana, he is giving you the reference of Sankochana and Visruta, that is Chayayam Visruto Bhavet, Sankochatapyatirtham Chayayam Visruto Bhavet. That is Drishti mandala is the one which constricts to the light and which dilates in the darkness. That the reference is also that there. If you are taking this reference, okay, which is given in Sushruta Sharira, you should consider Drishti mandala as pupil, a pupillary aperture also you can consider. And he is having the references avyayaihi, he is telling. While acharyas have explained about Drishti mandala, they are telling avyayaihi upachaya apachaya rahitaihi tejobhir vishishtha. Avyayahi, the one which is not having any vyaya, that is one of the important vital organ which is not having any vyaya. And upachaya apachaya rahitaihi, okay, upachaya is also not there, apachaya is also not there. And tejobhir vishishtha, it is one of the important mandala which is having tejo mahabhuta in predominance. Okay, this is one more reference. And response towards light, when you are considering Drishti mandala as pupil, there are number of references which we get, that is Vivarakritim also he is telling, Vivarakritim, Bahyena Vivarakritim. Drishti mandala is the one which is nothing but aperture. Okay, you should consider it as aperture. Even Acharya Indu has explained, he has given one more important terminology as Patalakhya Vishesha. That is, Drishti mandala is the one which is covering the Krishna mandala. Patala you have to take like it is a thin membranous coat or a tunic you have to consider. Okay, So when you consider Indu's commentary, that is, he is explaining, like, we will feel that there is pupillary aperture which is again covered by cornea, a thin membrane like cornea. The same he has explained. Hindu has given Patalakya Vishesa, he is terming it. So there you should, if you take that reference, there also you will understand Drishti as pupil. Okay. Then the other, in some other context, they have explained that if Drishti Mandala in intrauterine life, what about the appearance of Drishti Mandala in intrauterine life, and what about the effect of Tejo Dhatu? If the Tejo Dhatu, when the child is growing in a mother's womb in intrauterine life, if the Tejo Dhatu does not reach that, the reference is that the child will genetically become blind. So here we cannot take it as the only pupil. So Drishti we have to consider it in a more wider view. And there is one more reference that if the Tejo Dhatu becomes Vatanugata, the patient or the child will have squint. Here in this context we have to take it as Vatanugata Tejas cited in Drishti Mandala. The child will become squint. So what you can take it in the extraocular muscles also. And if it becomes Pittanugata, you are having Pingakshata. If it becomes Kafanugata, you are having Shuklakshata. So accordingly to the different, seeing the different conditions, you have to analyze what is Drishti Mandala. And one more important quotation. So what is Drishti Mandala is? Masuradala matram tu panchabhuta prasadam khadyota visphulingabhimidham tejo abhiravyayah khadyota visphulingabhimiddham tejo abhiravyayah. See the importance. Okay, then avrutam patalen akshnor bahyena vivarakritim sheetasatmyam ranam drishtva mahur nayana chintakaha. So what he tells, Acharya Shushruta, he is telling Masuradala matram tu panchabhuta prasadam. Masuradala matram, the size and everything here, this is very important quotation in a context of Drishti, because this shloka is highlighting all the probabilities. Okay, what we should consider. First line you take Masuradala matram tu, that is Masura, it is nothing but a leguminous plant or a lentil. Masuradala matram tu panchabhuta prasadajam. If you are taking Masuradala matram, it is nothing, it is we should understand it like it is lens. Okay, Masuradala matra, it is a biconvex Masuradala, biconvex structure, okay, which is indicating towards lens. That here we have to understand Drishti as lens. Masuradala matram tu panchabhuta prasadajam. Like Drishti Mandala, see, it is, though it is Tejo Mahabhuta, but it is considered as the Prasada Bhaga of all. So very important, it is the Sara Bhaga of all the mandalas. Okay, see, Pakshma Mandala, Pakshma, Vartma, Shweta, Krishna, all are having different types. The Panchamahabhuta Pradhana we are knowing. Palam, Bhuvo, Agnito, Raktam, Vatat, Krishnam, Sitam, Jalat, Akashat, Ashrumargascha, Jayante, Netra Buddhude. Like in all the muscular parts of Netra Bhaga, we are having Palam, Bhuvo. That is, the Mamsa Bhaga of your Netra is made up of Prithvi Mahabhuta. Palam, Bhuvo, Agnito, Raktam. The vascular tissue, wherever the vascular Rakta is there, you are having Agnito, Raktam, Agni Mahabhuta Pradhan, Agnito Raktam, Vata Krishnam, Krishna Bhaga, Krishna Mandala is very sensitive Bhaga and it is made up of Vayu Mahabhuta Pradhan. Vata Krishnam Sitam Jalat, wherever you find Jala Mahabhuta or wherever you find watery portion in your eye, that is made up of Jala Mahabhuta. Sitam Jalat, Akashat, Ashrumargascha. Akasha Mahabhuta is predominant in Ashrumarga, that is the lacrimal apparatus. Wherever you are having the hollow spaces or the channels in the eye, there you find the importance of Akasha Mahabhuta. So this is for whole of the eye. But when you come to particularly to Drishti Mandala is considered as the Mahabhuta Prasadajam, very important vital organ which is the Prasada Bhaga of all the mandalas. So hence the importance of the word Drishti. Masuradala matram tu Panchabhuta Prasadajam Khadyota Visphulingabhimiddam Tejo Abhiravyayah. So what this is explaining? Khadyota means the worm or the light worm which is just giving a glow or which is gleaming in nature, which is giving a glow like fire, or Vispulinga, that is like it is glowing. When you are visualizing through Drishti Mandala, you are seeing Drishti. Okay, this is the difference between Drishti Mandala and Drishti. Drishti Mandala means you have to understand it as the pupillary aperture. And according to the references, you have to understand what Drishti means. Drishti Mandala means you have to understand it as the pupillary aperture. And when you come to the word Drishti, it may be specifying, it may be indicating towards lens, or it may be specifying different refractive media. It may be cornea, or it may be iris, or it may be retina. So when you take this second line, Khadyota, okay, it is giving a glow that you are knowing when we throw light into the pupillary aperture. I was speaking of this response towards light. Okay, and even there is references that what you know, when you examine the pupil, we are knowing. So what are the conditions we are examining in the pupillary aperture? When we throw light, what happens? It constricts and the pupillary margin dilates in the dark. Similarly, it is giving response, the pupillary response towards light. So that is nothing but Khadyota. When you throw light, if your Drishti is normal, it is Chakshushya, it is Prasanna. So what happens? You are getting back that reflex Khadyota, that is red retinal glow. Your Drishti is sparking. Okay, that reflects that light reflects you are getting back. Khadyota Vispulinga, that is nothing but again the sparkle. Okay, the sparkle you are getting back from the retina. Khadyota Vispulingami Midham Tejo Abhiravyayah. Tejo. The word Tejas is important here. Tejo Abhiravyayah. See, Teja is again, Acharya is telling us the importance of Alochaka Pitta, which is seated in our netra. Tejo Abhiravyayah. It is not Vyaya. It is not going to perish. It is Avyaya. Khadyota Vispulingabhimiddam Tejo Abhiravyayah Avrutam Patalen Akshnor Bahyena Vivarakratim. Avrutam means it is Drishti Mandala is covered by Avrutam Patalen. It is covered by the patalas. I'll tell you later what are the patalas. Avrutam Patalen Akshnor Bahyena Vivarakratim. It is covered by the patalas, Bahyena. Okay, from externally it has been covered by the patalas. Vivarakriti, it is having. Vivarakriti means there is aperture is there. Then Shita Satmam Nrinam Drishtva Nayanamahur Chintaka. See, the importance is Shita Satmam. Though till now whatever we have discussed is, it is the Prasada Bhaga of all Panchamahabhutas, and in Drishti Mandala we are finding the importance of Tejo Maha. Okay, so even we are having the importance that is Tejo Mahabhuta Pradhana. Here it is Shita Satma. Shita Satma. Why it is Shita Satma? So you have to think. Even when Acharyas have explained about Svedana, they have not explained to give it to Netra. Only Karasveda. Wherever necessary, they have explained regarding Karasveda. So it is definitely Shita Satma. So there Shita as well as Teja, both are functionally working together. They are together or they are coexisting together to perform certain functions. Certain physiological normal functions are being performed by the presence of both Tejo Mahabhuta as well as Jala. It is just like you can have like the example of boiling water. Okay, but even though Teja Mahabhuta is Pradhana, Jala, it is Satmya to Shita, that is Jala. Shita Satmyam Nranam Drishtva Nayana Mahur Chintakaha. So this shloka, if we analyze, we are coming to certain conclusion that we are understanding what Drishti is. We are understanding Drishti as some of the anatomical structures. Okay, and we are understanding some Drishti as different refractive media. Like we are understanding, in some context we have to take it as pupil. In some context we have to take it as cornea. In some context we have to take it as crystalline lens. In some context we have to take it as vitreous. In some context we have to take it as retina. And in some context we have to take it as macula lutea. And generally speaking, we have to understand it better in a functional way. Because when we go on analyzing these terms, Drishti and Patala especially, when we are understanding what Timira is, the nature of Timira Vyadhi, there we cannot exactly correlate to all these. Like Drishti Mandala, when Acharyas have taken the example of Drishti Mandala, we cannot exactly correlate to these mandalas are exactly, these can be correlated to these anatomical structures. Some of the hypothesis is also there, and basically it is the yukti of the physician how to understand the concept, because number of references we have got. And when Acharya Indu has quoted that Patalakya Vishesha, that he is telling that, and even we note that Avratam Patalam Akshnor Bahena, both are opining the same. That one Acharya is telling Drishti Mandala is externally we are having a Vivarakriti, and externally it is being covered by the layers. Avratam Patalam Akshnor Bahena, Sushruta is telling. And there also Hindu is telling that it is being quoted by Patalakya Vishesha, or a thin membrane. That is definitely it is indicating towards cornea. Accordingly, we have to take in whatever context we are understanding, or in whatever the patients we may see. So we are here to discuss, certainly this is the base for the discussion of Drishtigata Rogas. What are Drishtigata Rogas? So in Drishtigata Rogas, what type of Rogas our Acharyas have included? We know that Sushruta is telling only 12 Drishtigata Rogas, whereas Acharya Vagbhata is explaining 27 Drishtigata Rogas. So what Rogas have to be classified in what category? Why we have to again analyze why this Roga was not taken into Sarvagata Roga, and what made our Acharyas to take this Roga under Drishtigata classification. So accordingly, issue based, or we have to think what is Drishti, seeing the concept. Okay, this is the importance of Drishti Mandala. So functionally speaking, we have to importantly think about macula. So this is the one wherein physiologically you are getting back the reflex from the eye. That is nothing but, even our Acharyas have mentioned Khadyota and Vispulinga. These are the important reflexes which we get back. And even Chakrapani is also telling you about different types of the colors obtained by Drishti Mandala whenever the child is there in mother's womb, based on which we can think that what is Vatanugata, what is Pittanugata. What is Pittanugata? We can take that when Drishti becomes Pittanugata, it may be further, maybe the patient may end up in Eales disease or any inflammatory disease or any conditions, or it may be different types of, if we are considering it as Vatanugata, you can take it as squint eyes, or you can take it as also atrophies. Why can't we take this Vatanugata Drishti as atrophies? Likewise, we have to go on analyzing and understanding what Drishti is. Okay, and what Drishti Mandala is? Certainly, Drishti Mandala and Drishti both you can take it as same. But Drishti Mandala, when you compare Drishti to Drishti Mandala is larger when compared to Drishti. Drishti you can take it as macula or retina or lens or a functional unit of vision. Okay, this is about Drishti. Now, coming to the concept of patalas. What are patalas? Again, you know, how many patalas are there? 6 patalas our acharyas have explained. So, what are the 6 patalas? Dve vartma patale vidyat चत्वारि अन्यानि च अक्षिणी जायते तिमिरम एषु व्याधिः परमदारुणः. We are having 6 patalas wherein 2 patalas are situated in the Vartma Bhaga and rest of the 4 patalas are present in the inner aspect of your eye. Dve Vartma patale vidya chatvari anyani cha akshini. So which are those chatvari? Which are the 4 rest of the patalas? The first one is Tejo Jalashritam Bahyam Teshwanyat Pishitashritam Medastritiyam Patalam Ashritam Twasthi Chaparam. So now we need to analyze what do you understand by patalas. Patalas are nothing but the membranes or the tunics of the eyeball. So I want to specify one thing that our acharyas have even explained patalas in relation to Krishna Mandala. So there he is explaining 3 patalas in Krishna Mandala. But generally speaking of patalas, that is generally when he is considering the netra, that is eyeball, his Nayana Budbuda, he is explaining 6 patalas. Both are different. Even while explaining Sadhya Sadhita of Shukra Vyadhi, Sushruta has classified that he has clearly told, okay, Prathama Patala, Dvitiya Patala and Tritiya Patala. This is with respect to Krishna Mandala and this is different from that of these patalas, what our acharyas have explained with respect to Nayana Budbuda. Okay, there also while he is telling, when dosha enters Prathama Patala, this can happen. When dosha enters, when we should call Sadhya, when we should call it as Yapya or when we should call it as Asadhya, it is dependent on which patala our doshas are taking sthana samshaya. Similarly, here also this is I am speaking of total Nayana Budbuda. There are 6 patalas wherein 2 patalas are Vartmastha and rest of the 4 patalas are situated in the inner aspect of the eyeball. Tejo Jalashritam Bahyam. So here we need to know what is this Tejo Jalashritam. So the name itself is specifying Teja and Jala. Mainly you are having Teja Mahabhuta and Jala Mahabhuta. See again, importance of both Teja and Jala, how they are functioning. This is where we have to know the importance of how our physiology is working. Tejo Jalashritam, we can take it as, see, again we can understand it in many ways. We can take it as Sklera, Jala Mahabhuta. Tejas, when you consider, we are considering the cornea. Okay, that is Teja. When you are considering the Teja Mahabhuta, it is nothing but the optical zone of the cornea, which is considered as the important part. We are having the peripheral cornea and the optical zone of the cornea. Optical zone of the cornea is important because it is in close relation with the Drishti Mandala. As we have discussed priorly, that it is 1/7 or 1/9, whatever it may be. Here, considering Teja Mahabhuta, it is to the cornea. Okay, it is taking its origin from the cornea, and when we are considering Jala, we are coming to the structures like sclera or conjunctiva, which are moist in nature. Jala Mahabhuta Pradhana. One more aspect we have to think is what Jala, Teja and Jala Ashrita means. See here, in one more context, like in Sushruta Sharira, even in Uttarasthana, Sushruta refers that Tejas, see here the Alochaka Pitta, okay, it is taking its seat in Siragata Rakta, okay, that is, we can take it as aqueous humor. When we are analyzing the origin or the production of the aqueous humor, we are coming to the conclusion that aqueous humor is being secreted from the capillary vessels. It is through diffusion or it is through osmosis. So, base being the Teja Mahabhuta, that is again Teja, that is Siragata Rakta, from which the Jala, that is Rasa Mahabhuta, or Tvachagata Rasa, that is again but lymph we can take. So, Tejo Jalashritam Bahyam, that here we can understand it as aqueous humor also. Siragata Rakta, wherein the Alochaka Pitta takes its ashraya, or it is Tvachagata Rakta, wherein the Alochaka Pitta takes its ashraya. Like the aqueous humor production from the vessels or from the blood stream. Okay, so this first layer, this is one point, that is it may be taken as sclera, conjunctiva and cornea, lustrous parts, or it can be taken as this one, aqueous humor. Tejo Jalashritam Bahyam Teshvanyat Pishitashritam. This is, I am speaking of when we are going from, when we are counting the patalas from outside to inside. Okay, outside to inside. First is Tejo Jalashritam. Second one is Tejo Jalashritam Bahyam Teshvanyat Pishitashritam. Second layer is Pishitashrita or Mamsashrita. So what is this Mamsashrita? Here, what is the function of Mamsa? As we know, okay, we are knowing about the functioning. It is helping to hold the structures properly. It may be Siranam, Kandaranam and Mamsa. It is helping you to hold the structures properly in their position. It may be taken as ciliary body, or you can also take it as suspensory ligament of Zanus. Ciliary body, which is helping you, the Mamsa Bhaga, which is helping the inner structures of the eyeball to be in their position. So this is the second refractive media. The first refractive media is Tejo Jalashrit, cornea and all. And the second refractive media is Pishitashrita, that is, you can take it even as uveal tract. Iris, ciliary body and choroid together form uveal tract. So this is second, Pishitashrita. And the third one, Medastritiyam Patalamashritam. What is this Medastritiyam Patalamashritam? What is the Sara of Meda? It is Asti. Medastritiyam Patalamashritam, again it is the Sara of Asti. So you can take it as lens, or you can take it as vitreous gel, vitreous body, or lens you can take it as Medastritiyam Patalamashritam. Then lastly, Asthyaashritam. Chaturtha Patala is Asthyaashrita. This you can take it as retina, because the retinal layer, which is situated deeply in the bony orbit. As you know that retina is situated, this is the last innermost tunic of the eyeball, which is situated in the bony socket. Like it can be taken as retina, and it can be taken, you can also take it as optic nerve fibers. Okay, this is about the counting of the patalas from outside to inside. Now we can also think in the other direction, that if we are counting the patalas from inside to outside, so there Tejo Jalashritam, and that becomes the first layer. Okay, from when we take it from inside to outside, Asthyaashrita becomes first, and Medashrita becomes second, Mamsashrita becomes third, and fourth one is Tejo Jalashritam. When we are taking this, like we can take it as retina, and we can even analyze in such a way that we are taking or we are considering the different layers of retina. Like the layer of the optic nerve fibers, it may become the first Asthyaashrita. Similarly, we are having the layers of the ganglion cells. We are having the outer plexiform and inner plexiform layer. We are having the rods and cones layer. So there also we can take when we are considering the patalas from inside to outside. So what is the importance of these patalas? So these patalas are very important. When we take two Bahyashrita, that is Vartmashrita patalas, they are situated in the Vartma Pradesha. As you are knowing, Urdhva and Adho Vartma, the patalas, the two patalas are situated in Vartma Pradesha, and the rest of the four patalas are helping in the refraction, being situated in the inner aspect of your eyeball. So functionally, physiologically speaking, these patalas are playing very important role in the production of vision. So the knowledge of drishti and patala are important to understand how to understand the drishtigata rogas. As you know, Timira is one of the important drishtigata roga, as acharyas have told. Dve vartma patale vidya chatvaranyani chakshini jayate timiram eshu vyadhi paramadarunaha. Why they have told it as Paramadaruna Vyadhi? Jayate Timiram Eshu Vyadhi Paramadaruna. Why they have considered this Timira as Paramadaruna Vyadhi? Again, our Acharyas want to highlight that Timira is not a restricted terminology. Timira is having a wide meaning. Like we are having the importance of Drishti, we should also know the importance of Timira. So what is Timira? Moolam Drishtinasasya Timiram Samudhavratam. Acharyas are telling Moolam Drishtinasha. What happens in Timira? Drishtinasha occurs finally. But whether Drishtinasha occurs immediately, Drishtinasha occurs? No. For this, we need to study the important stages of Timira, which we'll be discussing in the further classes. Okay, so today, in today's session, we have known the importance of the words of what is drishti and what is patala, and how we have to understand based on different clinical conditions. What is the conclusion of today's discussion? The conclusion of today's discussion is we are not probably able to correlate these words of drishti and patala to the exact anatomical structures, but we have to consider these words in a broader sense, and we have to diagnose the case properly. See, any case may come to your eye OPD. You may have a case of simple myopia, or you may have a case of corneal opacity. So any type, or you may have a case of retinal degeneration or retinitis pigmentosa, or it may be diabetic retinopathy. So how to understand how we should name that certain disease? Can't we name this corneal opacity as Timira, as a stage of Timira? Yes, we can, but we have to provide it, we have to understand the concepts, basic concepts of what is Timira. So why Acharya has told Timira as Paramadaruna Vyadhi? It is because he is not limiting the word drishti, and he is also not limiting the word patala. So patala, when you consider, we are considering the different layers of or the tunics of the eyeball, maybe from outer to inner or inner to outer. So this is from anterior segment to posterior segment, or from posterior segment to anterior segment. We should know the importance of the layers of the eyeball and how the light wave passes and what is the process of the refraction and which mandala or which patala is helping for that process. That we should know. So why Timira is Paramadharana Vyadhi? So if we consider Timira as a simple myopia, it is affecting only the Prathama Patala. Okay, then it becomes sadhya. So to be more simple, when doshas are accumulating in first patala or prathama patala, okay, simple, we can get the diseases or the disorders like simple myopia or hypermetropia or presbyopia. But when the dosha, and they are even sadhya in nature, but when the doshas are taking its second layer, we know what it should be called. It is timira, kacha and linganasha. In further classes we will be discussing in detail about what is timira, what is kacha and what is linganasha. Linganasha is the end stage of timira. Moolam drishtinasasya timiram samudhavritam. That is, it is the timira is a single disease. Timira, kacha and linganasha are not considered as different diseases, whereas they have to be considered as different stages of a single disease. When the doshas are involving the first patala, it is sadhya, second patala it is yapya, third patala and so on. Like when the doshas have reached the fourth patala, it becomes asadhya. Like what are the probable disease we can try to correlate, like if it is in prathama patala, dvitiya patala, tritiya patala or chaturtha patala. Later on we will see that. So this is the importance of the word drishti and patala. And even timira, while speaking of timira chikitsa, acharya has explained the treatment aspects very nicely. What kriya kalpas can be used, what are the exercises, so what are the some of the exercises, eye exercises we can go, and how certain pranayamas are going to help. Clinically speaking, we have to know this aspect because we are there to treat the patients clinically in our OPD, how the patient is responding. To see the response, we have to basically we have to know the complete concepts of timira treatment. In prathama patalagata, what is the treatment? Dvitiya patalagata, what is the treatment? Tritiya patalagata and chaturtha patalagata. Okay, I would like to conclude here for today. So I hope you have followed what today's discussion regarding drishti and patala. So hope it is beneficial to you, or it might be helpful to you in understanding the terms about drishti and patala. Okay, I thank the organizers who have provided me an opportunity for this. I would like to end here. Thank you, one and all.